Hey all. So I had a great time hanging out with a friend of mine, a young friend of mine, this weekend. And as often as our conversations go, we always talk about spirituality, spiritual things. And one of the things that came up was kind of what's preached from the pulpit, about the reality of practicing Christianity or spirituality. And he critiqued it, and he admitted, we're all critics to some degree. And I just reminded him that sometimes when it comes to our pastors and anyone really that preaches from the pulpit, it's not easy for them to give everything that they've learned, right? I may have shared this perspective before, but it's a good reminder, that often there's hours and hours of study that goes into anywhere from a 20-minute to a half hour, maybe even an hour worth of a sermon. And you figure in all that information that they've gained, they're just giving you the nuggets. And then sometimes, this is a caution to really all of us who do preach and study the word in detail and then share it with others, is that I was telling my friend that we're victims of our own thinking sometimes. In other words, we get stuck in our perspective, in our experiences, and we forget there's so many varied ways of viewing life and feeling about life and experiencing life that we can't really capture it all, in one view. I think that's why it's important in today's world now, that we look at so many types of sermons, different types of people too, that have a varied background. Like if you're following me, mine is always with a recovery background, because that's part of my path as a Christian and as a person, is that I'm recovering from my own addictions. And so I color the world with that perspective as well. And at this point in my recovery, I've come to a point where I just think everybody's really in some form of recovery, whether it's from addiction or themselves or bad habits or just ways of doing things that prevent us from really deepening God's love in our life. So what we got out of our talk, as we closed up, is that we have to really be the change that we're looking for. Like my young friend was saying that he would like to hear it more from people that preach and are leaders in the church, to be more real, to be more honest about the struggle, that it's really not about being a perfect person. What I told him from my view, this is me, if I were to tell you what practicing spirituality is all about, it's really about becoming the best version of yourself. And no one else can determine that but you, right? It's not up to me. It's not up to a pastor. It's not even up to your friends that, are kind of your accountability group, if you will. You get to decide what's the best version of you. And in that sense, we all get to work towards the goals that are set for us, not from other people. So I hope that helps you in your walk and understanding what it really means to be spiritual. We don't want to take too much for verbatim, from the people that preach and speak on their sermons and their teachings. We have to learn ourselves. That's really the key. We have to listen and then apply and then relearn again, because sometimes, when people are teaching and preaching, they're only giving you back what they're going through a lot of the times. And a lot of times they're only filtering it through their limited experience of life. And, and all of us are in different phases. You'd hear a lot different thing from me if I was, only a few years clean and sober. Right now I'm over 18 years clean and sober. And there's a lot of different perspectives that I bring now. So anyway, whatever that's worth, I hope that helps. And I'll check you out next time.